hello to all of our subscribers, new and returning, and welcome to 2023. I can't believe that we're already in the thick of it, as it were. We had a great season with family values. There was much laughter, there was much political chatter afterwards, and it was a great way to start the year. Drizzle Boy is selling so well, and between those two shows, we're actually really excited by how happy people are to be back in the year. My mum gave me a Christmas present. This is a Japanese netsuke, which is a carving that an actor used in the 19th century. They used to, as they tied their kimonos and their different costumes on, they would use these as a thread to hold everything, to hold the thread together. Anyway, it's supposed to ward off evil spirits, and maybe it's working because the year is going really smoothly. And knock on this little piece of wood, it will keep going because we've got great things in store. We're in the middle of building As You Like It, the set for As You Like It, which is going to, not to give everything away, but is going to sweep us away into 19th century outback Australia. So there should be quite an adventure in there, a lovely adaptation from Damien Ryan as he takes us into what could be considered one of the first theatrical musicals. There's a lot of song in this play and there'll be live music on stage, and I think it'll be a great big burst of Shakespearean energy to fill up the middle of the year. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about the middle of the year. But really, by the time we have At What Cost, which is coming to us from down south and kicking off a huge tour around the country for that beautiful play by Nathan Maynard, then I'm in conversations with Simone Romaniak about the set for Tiny Beautiful Things. And I had a beautiful long lunch with actor Mandy McElhenney, who's going to be our lead character in that gorgeous play. And we're talking about all the emotion in that play and all the questions it brings up. It's a huge and imaginative year to be traveling through with you. And I know that's kind of the point when I put together a season, but I think back to last year and all the difficulties. I was putting the season together in the middle of rebuilding the building after the flood, and I was hoping that all of these stories would go well, but given the signs from the first couple of shows in the year, I always get a little bit amazed when it does work out well. One of the strangest things about this job is that I'm always a year ahead in thinking when things are going well. And I know things are going well because we're actually working on all of the ideas for next year, to the point where actually I'm shooting an actor who will be in a show next year at the end of this week. He's an Australian performer who works mostly overseas, but he's doing a show down in Sydney for World Pride, and the fact that he's here, I kind of went, oh, could we take the photo for the brochure while you're in Sydney? He's like, yeah, of course we can do that. So I can't believe we're actually a little bit ahead of the game. We've been chasing so much for the last 3 years and trying to do things at the last minute because we haven't been able to plan. And now this great big open space of 2024 is opening up, and the idea of where we'll be at that point and what ideas we'll want to see and what confidence there will be and what are some of the big ideas that we have been meaning to get to for the last little while, but a few things have got in the way. So I can't tell you about what's happening next year, but there are some very excited and exciting artists that we'll be bringing to the Queensland Theatre stage. There are some hopelessly big ideas which I'm wrestling with and trying to find the resources to do, and yes, and then of course there's the idea that we want to take First Casualty to other cities. Trying to convince the Army that they should lend me a C-130 to fly the thing around. They've got the plane. Surely they'd be able to spare the labour to lift that set on and off to get it up to different places, because of course we'd love to take it to Darwin, we'd love to take it to Townsville. Hello to all of the soldiers up in Townsville who've sent letters saying we'd love to see the play up there. We're working on it, we really are. A few people to talk to in Canberra about it. And Canberra, we'd love to take the play to Canberra. You know, there are all sorts of things that are happening that way. We're trying to figure out if we can maybe tour Don't Ask What the Bird Looked Like. I know we haven't made it yet, but we're hoping maybe that's one we could take out to regional Queensland. There's a project that there's a local artist working on out in Biloela. Can't talk about that too much yet. But there's all sorts of new ideas that are happening, and the feeling of new and fresh is really what sits inside this year. And I know that Bird, we call it Bird affectionately, Don't Ask What the Bird Looked Like, and Vietgone are carryovers from last year, but as the ideas are starting to happen, as I hear Dan Evans and Ngoc Van talking about how they're going to realise Vietgone, it's just exciting, and I'm glad you're on the journey with us. And if you've got any questions about what's coming up or ideas for things that you might like to see in next year, now'd be the time to drop me a line and say, have you thought about this play? Yes, I have heard from a number of you that you're interested in seeing Susie Miller's RBG, and yes, we're talking to the Sydney Theatre Company to see if they're going to be touring that work. So there are all sorts of great big possibilities. Talking to Louise Bazina about what Brisbane Festival shows, and it might be not only on this year but next year. So the city feels like it's getting its mojo back. People are coming to the theatre and they're excited to be here, and things are working out, and I can feel a thrum of energy as I walk around the city, as the designers jump into the city to pick up costumes for different characters. They're starting to have to plan it a little bit better because there's more traffic and the parking's harder, and all of those are signs of the city coming back to life. So yes, incredibly hopeful is how I feel, but that's been inspired by our subscribers really, and the conversations that we've had on the back of family values, and the response to Drizzle Boy, and the excitement that school teachers are having about the different things in the year that they can be bringing their students to. So all in all, it's great to be back, and it's lovely to be with you, and I can't wait to see you in the foyer.